Well, hello YouTubers. This is Timmy, the fan of the older Nikon cameras. Made a few videos before, very low grade, low engagement channel, but that's alright. We nerds, we're just talking to each other. We're not trying to be stars, are we?
Don't put yourself down.
Yes, Chris is, my brother is just supervising the filming here and doing a great job, taking a piss.
Yes, that's me. Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. The D700, a very popular classic DSLR. So I bought this one a few months ago. Excellent deal, really. 349 quid from a proper shop, in a box, guarantee, and low 20,000 shutter count. Can't go wrong, really. These fancy new digital cameras cost thousands of quid, but this very nice bit of kit here, extremely reasonable and a really great camera. So what do we like about it? Well, it was the budget version, which came out in, I think, 2009. Might be 2008 actually, and it's like a D3. Hang on. This is a D3X, so not quite a D3, but this is a revolutionary camera that everybody loved. All the pros thought was fantastic, and it is. This is the high resolution version, a little bit different than the D3, slightly different capabilities. Gets trashed a bit, but it's excellent. I've got a D3S as well, which is super nice. So the D700 here was the cheapo version of this. Am I still in the screen, Chris?
You are. Yeah.
Okay, and what we like about it is it's covered in proper controls. What is this? Bringing the camera up?
Bring the camera.
I'm getting hand signals from Chris here.
Yeah, and sit back slightly.
You can give verbal directions if you like, Chris.
No, that's...
You can always focus on this thing too if I bring it close. But yeah, so here we go. On the back here, you know, a nice four-way controller with a lock round it. Ways to select your metering. Ways to select your focusing here with this little lever. Obviously this, like most of the Nikon DSLRs, the good ones, has a built-in focus motor, so you can use these AFD lenses. Do you want me to bring this a bit closer?
That's right.
Okay. All right. I'm just looking at stuff on here. There we go. Can you focus on that? That's a picture of the D4 I sold recently. There you go. Are you, is that good, Chris?
Yeah, the image has gone off the playback screen now.
Oh yes. Oh well, let's get it back again there. So there we go. Yes. So nice bit of kit. Now, what do people whine about? Well, they whine about single card. But here we go. Here is a nice CF card. This one's a 16 gig, but it takes bigger than that. If I just pop this around my neck a second. See, now these cards, people say that, you know, they can fail, but they're pretty good, you know. And if you get a proper card reader like this Kingston USB 3 card reader here, card goes in there and will transfer pretty fast, and that's also true for the D3X, which has the 24 megapixel files. They work good too. So these babies, the D700s, they have a real fan club, and what's said is that the color filter array on the sensor is different from every other Nikon, so produces a kind of more rich color palette. And I have observed something a bit like that, although I am also a big fan of the D3X colour palette, which I think is really smooth and saturated as well. Sorry, the D3S colour palette. D3X colour palette, slightly less saturated, slightly more prone to sort of highlights. You have to be a bit careful with it. Also very good. So I'd say all these classic 3 series, D3 series, and the D700 is an honorary D3 series camera as well, because it's a little brother with a lot of the same stuff in it. They are all excellent, and I love them really. I don't really want an expensive mirrorless with an EVF. So yeah, this camera also has its own sort of super fan website called Nikon, the D700 The Legend, and it's run by Nick Zochios or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, I don't know much about him, but he is really enthusiastic about these cameras and knows a hell of a lot. So I do recommend, if you are interested in the D700, going to that, joining that Facebook group and having a good mooch around. What else do I need to talk about, Chris?
No built-in battery grip, so it's just...
Oh yes, you can... This doesn't have a built-in battery grip like the D3 series cameras, but you can fit an MBD10 to it, and which will give you, I think, 5 frames a second and, you know, a lot more battery power. But that has another little trick as well, which you can buy an end cap for it, which is like a D3 end cap. Let me have a look. Is this still all showing well, Chris?
Yep.
Okay, so here is a D3 end cap and battery. This is an off-brand battery, but seems alright. These things are obviously much bigger than the D3 batteries. What am I doing, Chris?
Let's just raise it up a bit, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel free to give me some verbal directions. Yeah, so the much bigger, longer lasting, more powerful battery. So you can get a special end cap that's not the same as the D3, but like this, that will enable you to put this in the MBD10 and drive the D700, and that will give you 8 frames a second instead of 5 frames a second. So if you're a kind of sporty shooter who wants to capture a lot of images quickly with a D700, you can get the MB10 and that battery accessory. The only thing is, if you're not already a D3 user like my brother and I, my brother and me, Chris, we've probably got about, what, 4 or 5 D3 variations between us, don't we?
Oh.
And so we've got, you know, spare batteries and things. So if we wanted to drive the D700, we could do that. What else to talk about? The times I sold the D3, the D700. I had one in early 2016, and sort of mid 2016 I got talked by the angry photographer. Oh, it's a piece of shit. Oh, Nikon, a very arrogant company. That guy with the tattoos on his hands and all that, he's very knowledgeable, and he persuaded me that the Fuji system was good. So I sold my D700, bought a couple of Fuji bodies and some nice lenses. I think they call them the Fujichrons, the 3 f2 lenses, and we had the 1855 thing. And I was kind of initially impressed with the Fuji X-T1 and X-T10 and X-T20, but something about the files I didn't like. I missed the look from the Nikon D700, so I sold them and went back to the Nikon D700. And then since then, January 2019, I bought the D3X because I wanted to try 24 megapixels. Really like that. You really liked that too, didn't you?
Mm.
That was great.
Tip top.
So I then sold my D700, thought, oh, I don't need my D700. And then I subsequently had a D3S and a plain D3 as well, and a D810, which is filming us. But yeah, I thought at 350 quid, I really think a D700 is worth having. So I've seen I think he's originally a Pakistani guy who he's called Viewgraphy, and I think he lives in the Gulf states now, and he might actually be a proper Nikon ambassador, but he knows a hell of a lot about Nikons and things, and he is a big enthusiast for the D700, and says that, and the D3S, and he says if he's doing a special portrait he'll often use the D700. So we're talking pretty old 12 megapixel camera here, but people are loving them and using them today. What have I missed out, Chris?
No, I think you've covered it.
Yeah, but I love to waffle on. So we like the D700. It is terrific, and it's a mini version of the D3 series, and they are just the most beautifully built, high spec things. And excellent stuff. Excellent stuff.
Very good.
Yeah. Also, just quickly worthy of note is that the Nikon flash system works extremely well with these. So if you integrate an SB800 or something like that with this, you will get very nicely exposed pictures. Okay, I think we really will call that a day there, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that little